Hello dear students, let's continue the story of Manushyan that we discussed in the previous class. And before that, let's recall a few points that we discussed in the previous class. So we have already seen the description of the place where the narrator lived in a few years back. And we have also seen the nature of people and we also discussed the daily occurrences of that big city. And we also came to know about the profession of the narrator. And we have also seen how the narrator used to save his money. So these are the things that we discussed in the previous class. So today we are going to witness the most embarrassing incident of narrator's life. So let's begin that. So as I said in the previous class, the narrator used to save his money by sleeping whole day. He used to save the expense of morning tea and as well as the noon meal by sleeping the whole day. And he used to wake up at 4 o'clock in the evening. So as usual, one day he woke up at 4 in the evening. One day he woke up at 4 p.m. and he completed his daily chores. So he finished his daily chores. So what do you mean by chores? Chores is a routine. It's a daily activities or daily routine. So he completed his daily chores, and after that, after finishing his day-to-day routine and chores, he stepped out for tea and a meal. So he went out. So he went out to have his tea as well as a meal. So remember, while going to the hotel or while going to have his food, he was dressed in a suit. He mentioned that in the textbook, that he mentioned that he was dressed in, I hope you are able to see this. So he was dressed in a suit. So he was dressed in a suit, and in that suit there was a pocket. Usually there will be a pocket in a suit, and in that pocket he had his wallet. So remember, I am repeating this because this is important for 1 month. So he was dressed in a suit and he had his wallet, or he had kept his wallet inside his coat or suit pocket. And inside that wallet he had 14 rupees, which was his life saving. Just imagine that. So what do you get for 14 rupees today or nowadays? Nothing. But at that time or in those days, 14 rupees was his life savings. That means he worked so hard, he put so much of effort to earn this 14 rupees. So he worked for so many years just to save this 14 rupees. So 14 rupees, he kept his 14 rupees in his wallet, and his wallet was in the pocket of the suit. So by wearing suit, he went out, or he stepped out to have his meal as well as tea. So where did he go to have his food? So he went to a busy restaurant. So the narrator entered a busy restaurant. It was crowded. So what do you mean by crowded or busy restaurant? There were scores of people inside the restaurant. So containing lots of people. The restaurant contained lots of people, and he entered that busy restaurant. So we should also note here that the narrator might have been the regular customer there. As I said, this was the routine that he used to follow in those days. So he must have been the regular customer to that restaurant. So he entered a busy restaurant with 14 rupees in his wallet. So he ordered a full meal and also tea. As I said, he used to skip his breakfast as well as noon meal and used to have food only once in a day. So he went there and he ordered a full meal and a tea. So he ate a full meal consisting of chapatis and meat curry. So he ate belly full. So he ate full meal and also drank tea. He drank tea as well. So finally, it was the time to pay the bill. So how much he had to pay? So he had to pay 11 annas. So remember, the total money that he had in his wallet, that was 14 rupees. But the bill was 11 annas. He had to pay 11 annas for a full meal and a cup of tea. So finally, he was about to pay the bill. So he started searching his wallet inside his pocket. So he began sweating profusely. What do you mean by profusely? In a great quantity or heavily. He started sweating heavily. What could be the reason for that? He ate a full meal and drank tea. And he started searching his wallet to pay 11 annas. But the moment he began searching for his wallet, he started sweating heavily or profusely. So what could be the reason? That means he found his wallet was missing. His wallet was not there inside the pocket. So as I said, the narrator was a very genuine person. He was very loyal and he was very honest. Moreover, he was all alone in that big city. He was scared. He was helpless. He didn't know what to do. And moreover, it was a busy restaurant. You cannot even make out who stole your purse or who stole your wallet. So he was scared. He was helpless. So he was scared and he was sweating heavily and profusely because his wallet was missing. His wallet was not there inside the pocket. And that is why he was scared. So he didn't know what to do. So finally, the narrator decided to inform this. Whatever happened there, he decided to inform that to the owner of the restaurant. So he thought that if he tells everything about his wallet and everything to the owner, he thought that he would excuse him. But he did not know that the owner was not at all a human. And he was in the place where money was highly valued. Right? We discussed that in the previous class. So finally he went there, he went to the owner and he informed him and he told him that his purse had been stolen. So what could be the reaction of the owner? Right? So finally, as I said, he went there and he informed that his wallet was not there. His wallet had been pickpocketed. So the owner overreacted. It was just a small issue, but he made it a big issue there. So when he informed him, the owner gave a loud guffaw. What do you mean by guffaw? Guffaw is giving a loud laugh. He laughed in such a way that he startled everyone around him. So everybody, they started looking at the narrator and the owner because they didn't know what the matter was. But remember, he was amidst of such kind of people who would do anything to gain money. So narrator, as I said, he was in a miserable condition and he was caught in a dangerous situation there when he informed the owner that his purse was pickpocketed. So now, what happens now? The owner, as I said, when the narrator told him about his missing purse, he just laughed and he started making fun of the narrator. He was not ready to believe what the narrator was saying because for him only one thing mattered and that was his. Do you think that 11 annas would make any difference for him since he was the owner of that big restaurant, but still he gave importance to that 11 annas. And he would have thought one more thing here, the owner, that the narrator was a genuine or loyal or honest person and he could have excused him because otherwise he would have, the narrator would have escaped from that place without informing anyone. But he didn't do that because he did not have any intention to fool the owner or cheat on owner. That is why he stayed there and he was struggling and he still informed whatever happened to the owner, just as assuming that the owner would understand him. But the owner did not do so. He was overreacting. So the owner, he caught hold of the lapels of the narrator. Lapels is collar. He caught hold the narrator with his lapel and started shaking him and started threatening the narrator. So he threatened narrator. So don't try all these tricks here. Don't act here. Just put the money down and go. He threatened him. Or in case if you don't pay the bill, then I would gouge your eyes out. What do you mean by gouge your eyes out? He threatened him. He threatened the narrator that he would pluck his eyes out. Gouge is making hole and plucking out. So he threatened him, if you don't pay the money, if you don't pay the bill, then definitely I am going to pluck your eyes out. So the narrator was completely helpless and he was scared. He did not know what to do. Moreover, he did not have anyone there to help him. So finally, he did not let him go. He requested, the narrator begged him, but still he did not show any sympathy towards the narrator. He did not believe him. So finally what happened? The narrator, being helpless, he looked around. There were so many people. Still, nobody came forward to help this poor man. That is narrator. He was all alone. The owner was insulting him. He was making fun of him. But still, he was abusing him. Still, nobody came forward to stop the owner and save the narrator. They all, stood staring at, the narrator as well as the owner, getting entertained by this incident, by the situation of the narrator. So he says, he looked around him and there were so many people and he did not find any kind face there. So no man was, kind there, kind enough to help this narrator. They were all staring at the narrator as if they were about to attack him. They were about to attack him. And here the narrator uses a phrase that they all looked like hungry wolves. Look at that. He is comparing them to a dangerous animal. So they were all staring at him just like a hungry wolf, or they looked like hungry wolves. That means they did not have any humanity. So that is why he says, the people around him, they just looked like hungry wolves. You may get this for 1 mark. How did the people around the narrator look like? So they looked like hungry wolves, as if they were about to attack the narrator. So the owner, as I said, he was a man, or he was a human without humanity. This is what I said in the very beginning class. It is not a big achievement to be called as human, but you should also have human nature, human qualities. So he was a man. The owner was a human or a man without humanity. And moreover, he started playing with the emotions of the narrator. So finally, when the narrator came to know that the owner was not going to be convinced very easily, so finally he requested him that he would keep his coat there and he would go out and bring some money. So he requested him. But what did the owner do? He laughed at him again. He laughed. That means he is not going to leave the narrator so easily. He has something else in his mind. So now he is going to humiliate the narrator. So now he is showing atrocity over the man who was all alone, a man who was helpless. Right, and then it also suggests that the incident also suggests that, or it sketches the character of the owner. It says that he was a sadist. he was a sadist. He was getting pleasure by pressuring the narrator. So finally what happened? He agreed. The owner agreed. Fine. Your coat here, remove your coat. He told him, or he ordered the narrator to take off, to remove. He ordered the narrator to take off his coat. Remember, there were so many people and all of them were watching the conversation between the narrator and the owner. So they are all, enjoying this incident. But it was really an embarrassing moment for the narrator, who had always been on the right path, or who had always been an honest man. So he could not tolerate that, but at the same time he did not have any other option. He couldn't come out of the clutch of these people very easily. So that is why he followed everything that was said by the owner. So he asked him, the owner asked the narrator to remove his coat, and the narrator took off his coat. He followed his words and he thought that somewhere he would leave him to go out. But that did not happen. As I said, the owner had something else in his mind. A very evil plan to humiliate the narrator. So our miserable or very poor narrator, he removed his coat. After that, the owner ordered the narrator, or the owner told the narrator to take off his shirt. Look at that. What was he going to do? So he ordered the narrator to take off his shirt, took off, or he removed his shirt too. And then again, the owner did not stop there itself. Again, he ordered the narrator to take off both the shoes. So again, this is just nothing but just to humiliate the narrator in front of scores of people, in front of so many people who gathered there in the restaurant. So in the beginning, he asked him to take off his coat, and then he asked him to take off his shirt, and then he asked him to take off his shoes. And the poor narrator, he followed his words and he did as the owner said. He removed his coat, he removed his shirt, and he removed his shoes. But somewhere the owner again took him for granted and he ordered him to take off his trousers. The narrator could not tolerate this. But at the same time, he could not go against him. So it is very, it is really a pathetic condition here. He was in a pathetic condition. Just imagine yourselves in such conditions. You are in a strange land. So how do you manage among, such kind of cruel people? So he was helpless. He was all alone, and nobody was, saying anything against the owner, but everybody is watching there. So he was humiliated, he was abused, and now again the owner is making a plan to send him out naked. So here he ordered him to take off his trousers. At this moment, the narrator lost all hopes, and he directly told the owner that he cannot or he could not, take out or remove his trousers. So he told them that he had nothing on his underneath. So he openly said that, but still the owner did not show any sympathy towards the narrator. He repeated the same thing, what he had said, that he had nothing on underneath. He repeated the same thing and he laughed at him. So the people who were standing around them, they too repeated the same thing and they all laughed at the narrator and they made fun of the narrator. So finally, the narrator could not do anything. So he just imagined himself in a situation where he would be sent out without clothes and without eyes. He thought that these people would definitely do what they had said earlier. The owner had already threatened him that he would gouge his eyes out. So he imagined himself like a man without eyes and without clothes. So he came to the conclusion that, or he could make out the plan of the owner that he was going to send him stark naked, that is completely naked, and by making him blind or by plucking his eyes out. So this was the plan of the owner. So he could that was made out by the narrator. So narrator, as I said, he was helpless, and this owner, he was pressurizing the narrator to remove his trousers. And without any alternatives, he had to agree for what the owner and the other people had said. So finally, the narrator started praying to God. And he came to the decision that nobody would come to rescue him from these people, from this cruel people. So he decided that, and he thought that, and he prayed to God that everything is going to end now itself. So he came to the conclusion, as I said, that his life was going to end there itself in that big city and in that restaurant in front of merciless people. So finally, he started unbuttoning his trouser. He decided to remove his trouser. So finally, he started undoing or unbuttoning his trouser, and at the same moment when he was about to remove his trouser, he heard a voice. Somebody came there and somebody shouted, "Stop there." A strange man, a completely strange man entered the scene, and he stopped the narrator from unbuttoning his trouser. He came forward, the strange man, he came forward, and then he said, "Stop unbuttoning your trouser," and he asked the owner how much he had to pay. So he was just like a god for the narrator. And how was that strange man looked? So these are the features of a strange man. So this is important again. So a strange man, he stood there, a fair complexioned man. He was fair. Complexion is color, okay? So skin color. So he was a fair complexioned man, and he was 6 foot tall. 6 foot tall. He was tall man, and he had a red turban around the head. He had tied a red turban around his head. And then he wore white trousers, pants, pants. Then he had a handlebar mustache. What do you mean by handlebar mustache? You know what is mustache? Mustache is mise. So handlebar, usually upwardly curved. You might have seen some heroes, right? They have such kind of mustaches. So here he had a handlebar mustache. So just like this, I'm very bad at drawing, but still. So he had a handlebar mustache, and then he had blue eyes. So this is the description or the features of a strange man. So he came there suddenly. Remember, the narrator had lost hope on his life, and he thought that definitely the people were going to send him out naked and without eyes. But at the same moment when he thought that his life was going to be ended, but at the same time the strange man came there and stopped or saved the narrator from being humiliated. So he saved the day. He rescued the narrator from that dangerous and some embarrassing moment. But still he had already humiliated by the people there. But at the end, he came there and he saved the narrator. And he asked the owner how much he had to pay. And the owner told him that he had to pay 11 annas. And this strange man, he took out 11 annas from his purse, and then he handed it over to the owner of the restaurant. And he paid the bill of narrator. And then he asked the narrator to put on his clothes. He told him, put on your clothes. And in the same way the narrator followed the words of the strange man. And both of them went out of the restaurant. So finally, our narrator, he did not know what to say. He was in a confusion, he was in a shock, because he never thought that somebody would come and help him. And he told the strange man that he had done a very good or a great deed for him, and he had never seen such kind of finer man in that place. So when he said that, the strange man laughed. Why did he laugh? Maybe he knows what he is. So maybe that is why he laughed at the words of the narrator. And the narrator could not express his gratitude. He was speechless. He did not know how to thank the strange man who helped out from that dangerous situation. So finally both of them walked until they reached a deserted bridge. They went to a deserted bridge, very alienated place. So both of them, the narrator as well as the strange man, they went there. So finally, this man, the strange man, he asked the name of the narrator. The narrator introduced himself and where he had come from. In the same way, the narrator also asked the name of strange man, but he said that he did not have a name. But when he said that he had no name, the narrator told him that he would give a name. So what was the name given by the narrator to that strange man? He called him Mercy. So this is important. So Mercy was the name given by the narrator to the strange man, because he had humanity, he had mercy, he had kindness, and that is why he came forward to help the narrator. So that is why he called him Mercy. Somewhere he was a god for the narrator. So both of them, as I said, they reached the deserted bridge. And the strange man stopped there. And he made sure that nobody was following them. So he was weird, a kind of weird man. So they walked until they reached a deserted bridge, and when they reached that remote area, he stopped there and he started looking around, and he made sure that nobody was following them. So finally, he told, or he ordered the narrator that if anybody asked about the strange man, then he should not say anything about the strange man. He should not say about his name or about anything that he had helped him in the restaurant. He should not say anything about the strange man, or in other words, he told the narrator not to reveal anything about the strange man, about himself. And the narrator too agreed for that. He said okay. And then the strange man, he took out 5 wallets from his bag or from his pockets. Why did he have 5 wallets with him? So remember, how many wallets did the strange man have? So he had 5 wallets with him. So what does this suggest? And finally, the strange man asked the narrator to take his wallet or purse among that 5 wallets. Isn't it funny? So what did you understand? So the main reason for whatever happened in the restaurant, that was none other than the strange man. Because the wallet of the narrator, that was with the strange man, which means the person who had stolen the wallet of the narrator, that was the strange man himself. Right? So that is why it is that is why I said the strange man is the main character here, and he changes the complete story at the end. So he helped him, the same man who helped the narrator out of some embarrassing situation. He was the same man who stole his purse too in the restaurant. So he took out the 5 wallets which he had, and then he asked the narrator to take his wallet among that 5 wallet. And the narrator, remember, so what could be the feelings of narrator here? He had a mixed feelings. He was completely, confused. He was in a confusion. He pointed at his wallet and the strange man gave that to the narrator. And he asked him to open that. The strange man, the thief, I don't know whether to call him a strange man or a thief or a human. But anyways, he was all rolled into one. But still we have to remember one thing here, or we have to note one thing here. Here, even though he was a thief, but still he had humanity in him, which nobody had there. So somewhere, if we compare the owner and the who would be looking like humans? Definitely the had that humanity, and that is why he helped. Or this incident that happened in the restaurant that might have transformed the thief or the strange man, a kind of enlightenment. He might have felt guilty for what he had done there. He might have felt bad about the narrator's situation there. So that is why he helped the narrator, and that is why after that, the strange man, he asked the narrator to open his wallet. The narrator opened his wallet and he asked him to check the money, and his money was intact. So intact is complete. So he did not take even 1 anna from the wallet of the narrator. So narrator's money was there, complete money was there. How much money he had? 14 rupees. His 14 rupees was there in his wallet. And then after that, the strange man told the narrator to go without looking back. And he went. And before going, he blessed the narrator. He said that, may God help you. Look at that. That is the gesture of humanity I was talking about in the previous class. So he blessed him, may God help you. So in the same way, the narrator too blessed him that may God bless you. Even though narrator came to know about the thief, even though he came to know that this strange man, he had stolen his purse, but still at the end he blessed him. Why? Because the narrator might have seen the transformation in the strange man or in a thief. So this is what all about Oru Manushyan. So this strange man could be this Oru Manushyan. Look at that. So everybody has, each and every individual has good and bad, positive and negative. Right. So here too, he might have stolen his purse, but still at the end, he showed his humanity, which is greater than anything else. He came out to help this genuine man. He saved this genuine man from being the victim of the atrocity or the barbarism of the owner. So that is why one must appreciate the strange man. And we do not know whether he had stopped his robbery and all after this incident, but at the end of this lesson we came to know that there was a kind of transformation in the strange man. As I said, he might have been witnessing all this in the restaurant. That is why he could have even escaped from that restaurant, but he didn't do that. He was there, and when the owner did not stop his torture, when he did not stop his atrocity over this genuine man, and then he might have changed his mind and came forward to help our poor narrator. So this is why. So sometimes some incidents that transforms people, that brings transformations in people. So that is why let's do good deeds in our life. So that will always, if you follow the path of righteousness, definitely that will protect you. So I hope you have understood. I hope you have understood this lesson and enjoyed this lesson. So now let's discuss a few questions which can be asked for which can be asked for 1 mark. So So look at these questions. So these are important questions which can be asked for 1 mark. Look at the first question here. When did the narrator wake up every day? So when did the narrator wake up every day? So the narrator used to wake up at 4 in the evening, or you can write 4 p.m. So either you have to write at 4 p.m. or 4 in the evening. So the narrator used to wake up at 4 in the evening every day. So look at the next question. How far was a big city from the narrator's hometown? How far? 1,500 miles away from the narrator's hometown. The big city was 1,500 miles away from the narrator's hometown. Third question. The people in the city were not known for the quality of dash. What is the answer? The people in the city were not known for the quality of mercy. Quality of mercy. The people were not known for the quality of mercy. Look at the fourth question. What was highly valued by the people of the city? What was highly valued by them? Money. Money was highly valued by the people of the city. Next question. What were the daily occurrences in the city? What were the daily activities in the city? Murder, robbery, pickpocketing. Murder, robbery, pickpocketing. These were the main daily occurrences in the city. Next question. Where did the narrator stay in the big city? Where did he stay? The narrator stayed in the small, dingy room on a dirty street. That is in the first page of the lesson. So he stayed in a small, dingy room which was there on the dirty street. Next question. Whom did the narrator teach English? If you asked what was the profession of the profession of the narrator, then you have to say the profession of the narrator was teaching English. Here, whom did the narrator teach English? So he taught English. The answer is in the next question itself. Migrant laborers. The narrator used to teach English to migrant laborers. To migrant laborers. Next question. When did the narrator teach English to migrant laborers? Timings. What time he used to teach English to migrant laborers? From 9:30 till 11 in the night. From 9:30 till 11 in the night. So that was the timings that used to teach English to migrant laborers. If you get question, what was the narrator teaching to migrant laborers? What was he teaching? To write address in English. To write address in English. So next question, how much money did the narrator have in his wallet? So how much money did the narrator have in his wallet? How much? 14 rupees. So these are the important questions, 1 mark questions that can be asked in the examination. Thank you.